Thank you. My name is Mike Brandl, and I'm an economist here at the Fisher College of Business at The Ohio State University. And as an economist, what I want to do today is I want to talk to you about how you can increase your level of wealth, because we all want to be wealthy, right? Well, sadly, a number of people of my generation, of the baby boom generation, have not attained the level of wealth that they would like. And why is that? Well, I hope to convince you that the reason why that occurs is because many people, especially those of my generation, do not understand how our market-based economic system works. Well, why is that, you might ask? Well, sadly, a lot of people incorrectly believe that the point of our market-based system is to try to make as much money as you possibly can. And that is wrong. Let me repeat that. The idea that capitalism is based on the idea that one should try to accumulate as much money as one possibly can is wrong. Similarly, the idea that capitalism is based on trying to accumulate as much stuff as one possibly can is also wrong. So if our market-based system is not based on trying to accumulate as much income as you can or try to accumulate as much stuff as you can, what exactly is it based upon? Well, if you ask modern-day economists, we will tell you that from an individual's or a family point of view, the objective is to maximize one's utility. What we mean by that is to maximize your happiness, maximize your well-being. Right, so how do you go about maximizing your utility? How do you maximize your well-being? Well, what happens is that becomes a very, very individualistic idea. Right? Because think about what goes into your utility function, or in everyday English, what gives you happiness? What is it? See, it's very individualistic. So it's different for each and every one of you. So think about it. What is it that gives you utility? Is it trying to find a cure for cancer? Is it being an activist? Is it seeking out a way to be able to solve some of the problems our society faces? What is it that gives you utility? And you see, there are lots of things in our lives that give us utility, that gives us happiness and enjoyment, that have nothing to do with money. Right? That money, remember, is just a tool. It is the way we economists explain it, is that it is a constraint. You don't want to try to maximize your constraint. You want to maximize your objective function. You want to maximize utility. So don't focus on money. Instead, focus on the things that give you happiness, enjoyment, a lot of which doesn't involve prices or money, right? Think about it. When you spend time with your friends, with your family, is there exchange of money? No. But is there utility? Is there happiness? You darn right. Right? When I go home and I throw the ball for our German Shepherd, Jerry, and Jerry brings the ball back, do I say, good job, Jerry, and give him a $5? No. Right? But there's utility, there's enjoyment, there's happiness there. So why is it then that so many of my generation and the baby boom generation, why haven't they maximized their utility? Well, in part, the answer to that goes all the way back to the Great Depression of the 1930s. See, back in the 1930s, economists misunderstood why the Great Depression came about. We wrongly believed that spending was the most important variable. We thought that when spending declined, that's when the economy slid into the Great Depression. Well, it turns out it's much more complicated and complex than that. But the idea grabbed hold that spending was the most important variable. Spending declines, recessions and depressions. If spending increases, no more depression. And that's exactly what happened. Right, with the outbreak of World War II, the level of spending in the U.S. increased, no more Great Depression. So clearly, spending is important. So what we did is we based our entire post-World War II economy and society on the idea of keeping spending high. Right, so it's been 80 years that our economy and our society is ingrained with this idea to keep spending high. But it didn't always cause such problems. Because the generation that lived through the Great Depression, the generation that fought World War II, that generation that Tom Brokaw correctly labeled the greatest generation, they understood. They understood that there was value in things like family, community, friendships. So while they understood that, yes, spending played an important role, it shouldn't be the main driver. Increasing your income should not be our main objective. Accumulating stuff should not be our main objective. Sadly, my generation, the baby boom generation, we got it wrong. We focus almost exclusively on increasing income, on accumulating stuff. And the beautiful thing about markets is that markets will send you signals when you're doing things wrong. And that is in great part what happened in 2008. In 2008, we slid into the worst economic recession since the Great Depression. We call it the Great Recession. One of the reasons why the Great Recession came about is because the market was sending us a signal that we were doing it wrong, that we should not focus on just increasing our level of income, increasing the amount of stuff that we have. The question is, will we listen to the lessons that the market is signaling us? Right? The markets are signaling to us that we should maximize our utility, our happiness, our enjoyment, our well-being. Right? Not just go out and pursue more and more income or to focus on the accumulation of stuff. Right? So ultimately, right, think about why this matters. It matters on a macroeconomic level because the future of our economy and our society depends upon your generation getting this right. That if you do not focus on utility maximization, that what is going to happen is we are going to enter into probably a more severe economic downturn. The future of our economy and our society depend upon you focusing on utility, and learn the mistakes from my generation. Learn the mistakes not to focus on just income and accumulating stuff. But this is also true, right, for you as an individual. Think about this, right? When you go out and you're going to purchase something, you're going to spend your time. Ask yourself, why are you doing it? Are you buying things simply because you're forced with pure pressure or societal pressures to go out and buy that thing? Because remember, 80 years our society is focused on encouraging you to go and spend. Right? But instead, think about the opportunity cost. Right? What else could those resources provide? Or think about this on an individual level. When you think about the major that you chose, why did you choose the major that you did in college? Did you choose the major that you did because it is something that excites you, that it will maximize your utility? Or sadly, have you made the mistake that so many in my generation have made? Did you instead just focus on, well, what's going to give me the highest level of income? Learn from the mistakes of my generation. Learn that it should not be just focusing on income levels and accumulating stuff. And ultimately, the economists will tell you that is what will make our economy strong. There's this idea in economics called comparative advantage that's usually applied to countries, but it also applies to individuals. Comparative advantage says that people should do what they are the best at doing. And what do people tend to be the best at doing? They're the best at doing what they enjoy. So think about this and have conversations with your friends, with your colleagues, right? And understand the pressures you are going to face from society, 80 years in the making, to get you instead to focus on income and the accumulation of stuff. But understand capitalism and our market-based system depend upon you learning the lessons, the mistakes that my generation made. So how can you become wealthy? How can you achieve the level of wealth that you want? How can you be much happier than my generation? By maximizing your utility. Thank you very much.